I want to start this reflection with the quote that Pamela presented on her screen and from the famous words of Brené Brown. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. I think this speaks volumes as to what this course has done for me. It has made me realize that when I open myself up to vulnerability, that's when real creativity begins. I have discovered through this course that with privilege comes power. This made me recognize that privilege gives us the power to do good or the opposite. I was awakened to this realization when doing the Power Flower activity, where I began to discover my own social identity and the ways in which I experience power, privilege, or oppression in society. This activity was a great intentional work, as I cannot be prepared to build an equity lens classroom unless I do the work on myself first. This Power Flower activity allowed me to reflect on what my social identities are and to develop a critical sense of consciousness of where I stand and how my own identities or privilege could influence my classroom. This is the type of reflection and thinking that will make a difference and change the experiences for learners that have traditionally been marginalized and underserved in educational spaces and society in general. I began to recognize that my shift in my own thinking will impact how I plan lessons, how I address conflict among students, and how I will interact, react to learners and their families. A key learning that this course highlights is this notion of how can we create an equitable classroom that honors the voices of all learners. I saw this prime example through the 6-word memoir activity. The 6-word memoir activity takes a culturally relevant stance as it is setting the stage to create a brave space where educators empower learners to share their own lived experiences. It made me have a profound appreciation that you really cannot judge someone from the outside. We all have a story to share, and this will be the same for our students. They have a story, and we need to honor their voices. I will start to accept the concept of failure, not because failure is a good thing, but because it's a natural part of the path of progress. If I am failing, at least it means I'm trying. I have a new profound appreciation that in life, when I surround myself in relationships with those who believe in me and foster relationships with others that will change my thinking and will encourage me to do better. I recognize that all of us take stock into what we bring into our relationship. As long as people are trying and putting in an effort, things will move positively. It is important that within that relationship that I understand my positionality. If we have empathy when we deal with people in relationships, shame cannot survive. Empathy is the cure for shame. So if someone's being incredibly empathetic, listening without judgment, and encouraging connection, it will overcome the shame another individual is feeling. I need to learn how to let go of shame. I need to stop jumping to conclusions about a family's experience if they are not doing something that I accept of them. It is important to remain neutral and always have the best interests of the student first before jumping into conclusions. I don't want to make assumptions until I've collected all the necessary information or data first. This was shown in Exploring Classism Week, where I read the Jasminder case. I have to stop judging and be willing to look deeper to gain a better understanding. Honoring the lived experiences of all students and creating a brave space that allows students to see themselves in the curriculum. I will continue to honor all learners and all experiences and thinking about ways how I can integrate all the contributions to Canada, the Black, the Indigenous, the Chinese, and all the communities that make Canada who it is. I will make it my mission that the subjects are interwoven through the entire year, not just a single day event. I will ensure that non-Black, non-Indigenous, or non-Chinese learners learn about the experiences of all cultures so they can be part of a changed narrative that shows appreciation of all cultures within Canadian history. I want to end this with a quote. You don't know what you don't know. No one can really know anything in life until you've experienced something or been exposed to something. That's the only way to find out about something. So therefore, you don't know what you don't know. Although I've absorbed all this knowledge through my studies, until I start teaching and have those lived experiences, I can then only start to experience the things firsthand. I will be open to increasing my knowing. I will be open to listening, being empathetic, and creating relationships to guide me in the questions and inquiries I have. My goal and next step is to grasp the uncomfortableness, never stop learning, listen, foster relationships with those who will challenge me to do better, and most importantly, I will watch my words, as my words and actions can mean so much. I will watch any microaggressions and be intentional with my use of inclusive language, how I address my students, refrain from saying hi guys to hello everyone. Lastly, I will hold this notion that representation matters. This means providing resources and having books that represent the lived experiences of all students, and ensure that this representation is extended just beyond books. I will also integrate it into the curriculum.